So one of the reasons that we actually work on novel studies in school is to help improve our reading comprehension skills. The ability to not only read a book, but then understand what we're reading. Through the novel, we get chances to learn and then practice those reading comprehension skills on the book as we read it. The first job that you are going to focus on this time is character captain. The character captain analyzes different characters that are introduced inside of the novel. And the reason why we look at different characters is that as you gain a better understanding of the people or creatures that the author puts in the story, it makes it easier for you to make connections and understand what's going on in the book. To show you the role of character captain a little bit better, I'm going to read one of my favorite books to you guys called The Dark. The Dark's by an author named Lemony Snicket, fantastic writer. Also is illustrated by John Klassen, and John Klassen is one of my all-time favorites for reading and writing children's novels. So I'm really, really excited about this book, and I hope you enjoy it. The Dark by Lemony Snicket, illustrated by John Klassen. Laszlo was afraid of the dark. The Dark lived in the same house as Laszlo, a big place with a creaky roof, smooth, cold windows, and several sets of stairs. Sometimes the Dark hid in the closet. Sometimes it sat behind the shower curtain. But mostly it spent its time in the basement. All day long the Dark would wait in a distant corner, far from the squeaks and rattles of the washing machine, pressed up against some old, damp boxes and a chest of drawers that nobody opened. At night, of course, the Dark went out and spread itself against the windows and doors of Laszlo's house. But in the morning, the Dark would be back in the basement, where it belonged. Laszlo would peek at the Dark every morning. "Hi," he would say. "Hi, Dark." Laszlo thought that if he visited the Dark in the Dark's room, maybe the Dark wouldn't come visit him in his room. But one night, it did. "Laszlo," the Dark said, in the dark. The voice of the Dark was as creaky as the roof of the house, and as smooth and cold as the windows. And even though the Dark was right next to Laszlo, the voice seemed very far away. "What do you want?" asked Laszlo. "I want to show you something," said the Dark. "In here?" "No," said the Dark. "Here?" No, said the Dark. "Downstairs." "Downstairs?" "Yes," said the Dark. In Laszlo's living room was the biggest window in the house. Laszlo looked out at all the dark outside. Above him, the roof creaked, and he closed his eyes. Now the Dark was all Laszlo could see. No, said the Dark again. "Not there. Down here." "In the basement?" asked Laszlo. "Yes," said the Dark. Laszlo had never dared to come to the Dark's room at night. "Come closer," said the Dark. Laszlo came closer. "Even closer," said the Dark. You might be afraid of the dark, but the Dark is not afraid of you. That's why the Dark is always close by. The Dark peeks around the corner and waits behind the door, and you can see the Dark up in the sky almost every night, gazing down at you as you gaze up at the stars. Without a creaky roof, the rain would fall on your head, and without smooth, cold windows, you could never see outside. And without a set of stairs, you could never go into the basement, where the Dark spends its time. Without a closet, you would have nowhere to put your shoes, and without a shower curtain, you would splash water all over the bathroom. And without the dark, everything would be light, and you would never know if you needed a light bulb. Bottom drawer, said the dark. What? Bottom drawer, said the dark. Open the bottom drawer. Oh, thank you, said Laszlo. You're welcome, said the dark. By the time Laszlo got back into bed, the dark was no longer in his room, except when he closed his eyes to go to sleep. The next morning, Laszlo visited the dark in the basement. Hi, he said. Hi, dark. The dark didn't answer, but the bottom drawer was still open, so it looked like something in the corner was smiling. The dark kept on living with Laszlo, but it never bothered him again. Okay, guys, now that I have read my book, I am going to walk you through the steps on how to be a character captain. On Google Classroom, we're going to have this template for you, and all you'll need to do is to make a copy of it inside your at-home learning folder. I'll show you how to do that really quick because some of us are still not quite there. So go ahead and hit File up at the top, make a copy. Okay, and then it's going to say, this is the title. I'm going to change it so I don't have copy. I'm just going to say Character Captain. And I might want to say Chapter 1. That would be good. All right, and then I'm going to change where I put it. So I'm going to go into my grade 5 folder. Now I don't have a grade 5 folder, but I do have a pretend one. That's where we're going to go. Right, grade 5 folder. And then I'm going to put it in my at-home learning folder. And say select. All right, so I'm going to make a copy of this document. I'm calling it Character Captain Chapter 1. And it's in my at-home learning folder. Perfect. I say, okay. Okay, now that I have a copy of this, now I can start editing it. I read the book, The Dark, so mine's going to look a little bit different. Let me just change this really quick too. All right, I'll leave it at Chapter 1. That's okay. You won't need to change any of this. The teachers will be changing this as we go through. Here's your job description. Choose a character from the chapter you just read. We will be doing Character Captain more than once. And so we'll be at different chapters and we'll be doing Character Captain again. Your job is to work on the chapter that you just read this week. So this week we just read Chapter 1. So you're going to just work on Chapter 1. When we do this, maybe in I don't know, 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and we do Character Captain again, you'll work on the chapter that you just read. So don't go back to chapter like 2 or 1 or whatever. Work on the chapter that you just worked on. But we just read Chapter 1. Your job is to assign character traits that best describe the character. After, provide at least 2 quotes from the book as evidence. Make sure you use quotation marks and page numbers when quoting the book. Okay, so we need to figure out a character. Now, my job is really easy in that I have 2 characters, but I'm going to pick Laszlo as my character. All right, so that's the character I'm going to be analyzing. In the City of Ember book, there is 3 really good characters that you were introduced to in the first chapter. Lena, Dune, and the mayor. I would choose one of those 3 if I was you to analyze, but I'm going to analyze Laszlo for this. All right, now I'm going to go over here to the right-hand side, and it's going to say character trait. And I need to put an adjective, a juicy describing word that describes the character that I know so far. Attached to the assignment, you're also going to find this PDF. And this PDF has a whole bunch of different character traits. And so you can use this to help you think of a character trait that really is descriptive and helps us understand the character that you're analyzing. I'm going to be using the word brave. So let me put in the word brave into the character trait for Laszlo. My next job is to find evidence that says that that Laszlo is actually brave. The evidence is going to come from the book. All right. The evidence is supposed to be or is going to be a quote as well. So a quote is a part of the book. You don't change the words. You don't change anything. You take it, you copy it, and you put it in here. So you need to find a sentence, a phrase, maybe 2 sentences that is a good quote that says Laszlo is brave. Okay, my job's a little bit harder in that I have a picture book or a children's book, and so I don't have a lot of sentences. A lot of the description of this book is in the pictures. But the quote that I'm going to use today is when the lights go out and Laszlo is sitting there in the dark. Okay, so here I go. So the quote that I chose is, Laszlo, said the dark in the dark. What do you want? Asked Laszlo. Okay, so once you have the quote done, I've gone in and I've written the answer to why I think this quote is good. So I said, even though Laszlo was scared of the dark, he didn't scream for his parents or hide under his covers. He was brave and got up to talk to the dark. All right, so I gave a quote that shows that Laszlo is brave. Then underneath I explained why I think this is a good quote. Now up here it says I need to do at least 2 quotes. So I'm going to work on another one right here. If you're only able to come up with one piece of evidence and explain it sort of, that's beginning or emerging. If you can get 2 quotes, 2 really good quotes that actually make sense, and you have a good in-depth example that or explanation as to why you chose that quote, that's progressing to advancing. And if you can choose, 3 and find 3 different really good quality quotes, as well as giving us good examples of how this quote relates to the trait that you chose, right? That would be mastering. And so we've left you a space if you would like to go a little bit beyond and kind of show how much you would like to achieve in this. Okay, so I found my second quote. Laszlo had never dared come to the darkest room at night. And I'll give an explanation underneath. But before I do, I just want to show you how to properly quote things. So I'm going to zoom in here a little bit. Okay, when you are quoting things, there's things that you need to do. Okay, you need to add quotation marks. When you add quotation marks, it just says that you are copying somebody else in what they've said. Now we do this as writers when we quote our characters and we make them say something, we give them quotation marks. And that just says that somebody is saying something. Well, here you're saying that the author is saying something, and you're quoting what the author has written. All right. So I'm quoting what Lemony Snicket has written in the book. Also, when we quote, we also say where we got the quote from. If there is lots of works that you're quoting, you'll have to say also the title of the book. Here we're just quoting City of Ember, and we know that. So just provide the page number. So Laszlo had never dared come to the darkest room at night. And then afterwards, I'm going to say PG dot and then give me the number. You can also just say page number if you'd like. Okay, so I said here, Laszlo was brave because he tried something he had never dared to do before. Missed a word, to do before. Enter the scariest room of the house at night. Laszlo faces his fears on his own. Now you'll notice that in both of them, I didn't give a point form answer. I gave a full sentence answer. And in fact, both of my writing has 2 sentences, right? So it's not that you are giving me a point form answer or you're just really quickly writing. You're giving us a sentence answer that answers the beginning of the sentence. We give you a starter. This quote shows that. And if you'd like, add another sentence that helps explain what you're thinking, right? As teachers, we can only understand as much as you tell us. And writing is so much more important now because we don't get to have those conversations with you in the classroom. We're seeing a lot of your work through writing. So make sure that your writing is really well thought out and neat and clear. Okay, I think that's all that I need to talk to you about to help you understand what a character captain does. I will leave one of these examples in the actual assignment so you can look at it right there when you're working on your own character captain analysis. And I am excited. We are excited to see your work and all that you do this week. Talk to you soon.